I'm home.
Back here, sweetie. How was it?
Worst weather I've ever seen.
You should put some coffee on. It'll warm you up.
Tamo junto, pessoal. Chapiço gameplay. Bora continuar a gameplay do Alan Wake. Novo detonado do canal. Já temos o vídeo 1, né, no canal. Que é o episódio 1, Pesadelo. Mano, esse gráfico de 2010 até que é bom, né? Olha só essas fotos aqui. Olha, tem até um brilho parecendo Ray Tracing. Olha o brilho lá. Cara, interessante. Deixa eu ver aqui o que tem na cozinha. Caralho, geladeira braba. Ketchup, pimenta, não sei o que lá. Talheres tudo certinho. O fogão de... Peraí.
Coffee's on.
Great, thanks.
Caralho,
I'll need it.
tá uma chuva cabulosa lá fora.
Tomorrow.
Beleza, fazendo um café aqui pra nós. Daqui a pouco tá quentinho. Ué, tem alguém de mudança ou estão chegando? Tem uma TV. Que TV que é essa? Sim. Ó, tudo arrumadinho. Caralho, a tempestade lá fora tá pegando, hein? Tá sinistro, como diz a Semizinho. Tá hostil. Deixa eu ver se dá pra sair aqui, né? Não dá, mas dá pra ver a tempestade cabulosa. Dá pra correr dentro de casa? Dá não. Bora ver os quadros da casa. Gostei. Deixa eu ver se na cozinha tem alguma coisa. Não. Deixa eu ver esses quadros aqui. Gostei. É, a decoração é top, hein? Será que dá pra sair aqui? Não. Aqui deve ser o escritório dele. Deixa eu ver se tem algo aqui. É, como sempre tem um arquivo, né? Bora ver. A parada brusca. Ué, esse daqui eu não li, não? Aí, pessoal, se quiser ler, é só pausar o vídeo. Tamo junto. Pra gameplay não ficar muito extensa, é só vocês pausarem o vídeo pra vocês lerem o arquivo. Foi uma despedida tardia, 13 anos após ter me vingado. Eita peste. Teve vingança na parada, cachorro. Beleza, tem um pôster aqui do livro dele. Aqui tem os livros dele. The Alan Wake. É, tem vários livros, né? Recentemente foi anunciado o Alan Wake Remake, Remaster.
Oh, hey, I just finished those cover
E pra
mock-ups.
pegar aqui
They're on
café
your
aqui.
desk.
Ué, eu tava
Tell
fazendo
me what you
café e
think.
tem café aqui. Que
No
porra que é
kidding.
essa? Umas
Didn't
fotos
think you'd get
dele.
them done this quickly.
Não parece
On
nada com ele no
occasion,
jogo.
I can perform all sorts of miracles, my dear.
Ele pagando de modelo ali na vida real.
Well, you seemed to think so last night.
Examine as maquetes de capa. Beleza. Aqui outra foto top. Parece a Times Square. Beleza, para examinar as maquetes de capa. Deve ser aqui menos. Aqui não, pô. Aqui, né? Aqui. Telefone ali. Examine as maquetes.
These look really good.
Estão muito boas. Também feita por sua mulher. Tem que elogiar.
The last time was the last time. Oh, and speaking of Barry, he called.
Eita porra. Desligar a luz. Correr lá.
Alan, please check the fuse box.
Proteger ela.
I'm right here. I'm on it, honey.
Please hurry.
I'm right here, baby.
I'm fine. Just get the lights back on. Now, please.
Tem alguma lanterna aqui? Colocar. Beleza.
I really don't like this, Alan. Please hurry.
Honey, it's a power outage. I've got the flashlight.
Okay. Hi.
A lanterna ajuda?
I'm sorry. It just really spooked me.
Don't worry. We'll just break out the candles.
Isso aí, pô, dei um jeito.
But it's just especially when
Ó a recompensa. Agora é Vral.
It gets to me.
I love you.
Tell me a story, writer.
Okay.
Agora é
I used
só
to have
velocidade
these nightmares
5.
when I was a kid. The dark really spooked me too. When it got really bad, my mom gave me this old light switch. She called it the clicker.
The clicker, huh?
Yeah. If I ever got scared of the dark, I could just flip the switch and a magic light would scare the monsters.
Eu tô gostando da história, dos gráficos, da atmosfera do jogo.
Here it is.
Agora eu sei porque o Alan Wake é uma franquia clássica,
story writer boy.
tão querida.
Right now, didn't you?
No.
Top pra caralho.
Seriously.
I love you, even if you are a liar. Thanks for this.
Já era. Agora é só VHS a noite inteira. E a tempestade lá fora, rushando, sem dó. Beleza, episódio 2, o presente.
How do you feel, Mr. Wake? Any nausea, disorientation, anything like that? Mr. Wake,
Isso é bem...
how are you feeling?
Ó que da hora, parece filme de terror, muito louco.
I'm
A
okay.
atmosfera do
My
jogo.
head's fine. I had to lie about my headache and memory loss. He'd send me to a hospital for tests. I couldn't leave without Alice.
Very well. I don't think you have a concussion, but you've obviously been through quite a shock. You should take it easy for a couple of days.
Thanks.
Well then, Mr. Wake, we're done here. If the pain gets any worse or you experience any other symptoms, you should come see me. I'll let you get on with it then. Sarah, Sheriff Breaker, is waiting for you. She's very good at her job. I'm sure she can locate your wife in no time.
Doc Nelson was the image of a small-town doctor. Sheriff Breaker had called him to the station to take a look at the cut in my head. I'm sorry you had to cut your morning fishing short for this, Doc.
Oh, she's a beauty, ain't she? Not the biggest I ever caught, if you can believe that coming from an old fisherman like me, but she's right up there. Now, she's a largemouth bass, which is what you're after if you prefer a lure. Now, if you want either trout or salmon, on the other hand, then it's fly fishing for you. You a fishing man, Mr. Wake? Oh, doesn't really matter, I suppose. But it can be very relaxing out there. You can't get me off the water this time of year. Closest thing to heaven.
I'll take your word for it, Doc.
I believe you'll find the sheriff in her office. Just go down the corridor.
É, o negócio ali é fale com Sarah, beleza. Aqui tem um mapa gigantesco da cidade. Beleza, xerife. Bora ver o que temos aqui. Dá pra sair? Dá, caralho. Bora falar com Sarah. Dá pra entrar aqui, mano? Ih,
Thank you for testing the lights, Miss Weaver. Everything seems to be fine.
a Sarah é essa mulher.
Don't have the luxury of being complacent, Deputy Grant. The bulbs will need changing soon. You can't change them in the dark.
I'll be sure to take care of it, Miss Weaver. Have a nice day now.
Very good. I'll come back later on to remind you, just in case.
Mr. Wake, the sheriff is waiting for you in her office down the... That was Cynthia Weaver. I guess you can call her the town eccentric. She used to be the editor of the local newspaper, but she's focused on, other things these days.
Fit right in where I come from.
As you can see, she's a little obsessed with maintaining the light bulbs of the whole town, refuses to step on shadows, things like that. Back in her day, she wrote about all sorts of weird things in the paper. Bright Falls has a colorful history. Of course, what small town hasn't?
Alice was missing. I needed help to find her. I wasn't ready to
The
leave.
sheriff wants to see you in her office, Mr. Wake.
Yeah, it's Mulligan here. I'm at Stucky's gas station with Thornton. There's no sign of him. Over.
Wait. Yeah, this is Thornton. Look, we've located the brake float. It's here. That's some good news, right? Stucky was supposed to be driving it at the rehearsals today. Over.
Oh, give me that. Mulligan here. Looks like someone really thrashed the garage. Over.
Okay, roger that, guys. Keep looking for Stucky. Jane's out.
Sheriff Breaker is waiting for you down the corridor in her office.
Come in, Mr. Wake. Your phone's on the desk. The battery was dead. It's charged now.
Have you started looking for my wife yet?
My men are already on it. Now, can you tell me what happened?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. We were arguing. I walked out of the cabin.
The cabin on Cauldron Lake? How did you end up at Stucky's gas station?
I wanted to tell her what had happened last night, but I couldn't. She'd locked me up. Excuse me, I need to take this. Hello?
Alice, please help me.
Alice?
Stop talking to the law. You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
Who is this?
Go to the back lot. There's a hole in the fence on the left. Look inside the junker. I left a little something there to convince you we're all on the same page here. After you ditch the cops, you're gonna meet me in Elderwood National Park. There's a spot called
Mr.
Lover's
Wake,
Peak.
can I help you with anything?
Midnight. Don't do nothing stupid, pal. We're watching you.
I need to get some air. The sheriff said I could go out back.
Of course, Mr. Wake. You can get there through the cell corridor.
Hey, can you turn the light? The light's on! The deputies, they don't understand. They won't listen to me. I need it to be bright in here.
In spite of its human mask, to describe the dark presence as intelligent would have implied human qualities on something decidedly inhuman.
Hey! Hey!
The early morning light hurt my eyes and made my head ache. The man on the phone had said, "Go through the fence on the left."
Well, folks, it's been another long night, and it's about time for me to sign off for a while. God knows I need my beauty sleep. Just one more item before I go. It's been a busy night for the sheriff's department. Windows.
The kidnapper fired his gun one last time, and the shadow vanished into the darkness it had come from. See? Nothing to it, Wake. The thought of Alice in his hands was revolting. Alice's driver's license had been placed on the front seat. The caller meant business.
Barry?
Ow! Ow! Thank God! Where the hell have you been? I've been trying to reach you for a week, you and Alice. Oh, I've been worried sick. I flew out yesterday. I'm here in Bright Falls.
Barry, listen to me. I'm at the sheriff's station. Come and get me. I can't talk now.
Al, what the hell is going on?
I had to get the sheriff to let me go. I needed to get to Elderwood National Park to meet Alice's kidnappers. A writer is a light that reveals the world of his story from darkness, shapes it from nothingness. The way a sculptor carves a statue from a block of granite. If I stop, the world I'm making dies. Darkness will reclaim it. It's a long, hard journey in...
Marvelous, Sarah. I just wanted to settle all the damage the Anderson brothers might have inadvertently caused on their recent and regrettable little outing. They are not...
Are you feeling any better, Mr. Wake?
I'd like to leave. Am I free to go?
Well, we still need to talk about...
Am I under arrest?
No, of course not. But I need to know where you'll be staying so I can get in touch with you.
I'd avoid the motel. The Majestic is known for its roaches. The cabins at Elderwood are pretty nice, though.
That sounds perfect.
I'm Dr. Emil Hartman. I'd like to invite you to stay at Cauldron Lake Lodge.
Did you talk to my wife?
I had the pleasure of discussing your situation with her on several occasions.
Did you set something up with her?
I invited her here. My clinic is a place where...
Oh, hey! Oh, my! Take it easy.
Hey, nobody move! Get your hands off of my client!
Who are you?
I'm Barry Wheeler, his agent. If you have business with Mr. Wake, you talk to me. You yokels won't know what hit you once I sick my lawyers on your asses.
No harm done, Sarah. I'm all right. I don't want to press charges. Mr. Wake, my offer still stands.
Get me out of here.
What the hell was that about, Al? We don't need a replay of that thing with the paparazzi. I thought they were gonna lock you up.
I had to talk to someone. I told Barry everything. He thought I was certifiable, but when he heard about the manuscript, I had him. The fact that I'd written something, even if I couldn't remember it, was enough for him. He smelled money. And he believed that Alice had been kidnapped. Anything beyond that was another story. I had a midnight appointment with the kidnapper in a place called Lover's Peak, somewhere in Elderwood National Park. The plan was to rent a cabin.
I don't like it, Al. I don't like any of it. It's not good. In fact, it's the absolute opposite of good.
Mr. Wake! Barry, you found him.
Hi, Rose.
Oh, wow. I was just thinking about you, too.
Great.
I was just bringing Rusty some coffee. He's on the balcony, looking after Max. Poor thing. I really need to go. Great to see you again, Mr. Wake. Later!
Who's Max?
What an airhead.
Jeez, Mr. Takes a swing at everybody. This is not her fault. She's a very nice girl and, more importantly, a fan. She even has a fan site dedicated to you. And she was very helpful when I was looking for you. Seriously, Al, what you were saying in the car, just listen to yourself. What, you shot a guy and his body just disappeared? When was the last time you slept? What, are you high? Have you been drinking?
No! Look, Barry, I'm missing a week, and someone's got Alice.
Do
and
you
everything's
understand what it sounds like when you say stuff like that? Don't get me wrong, it's a good story, could be a bestseller. But when you start confusing fiction with reality, you're buying yourself a ticket to the funny farm.
Wait here.
Easy there, boy. I'm almost done.
Hey, Rusty, right? You rent cabins.
Oh, Mr. Wake. I'd shake your hand, but mine are kind of full here. Actually, I'm sorry about this. Would you mind grabbing the registration form from the desk? It's just across from Bucktooth Charlie.
Okay, sure. What happened?
Crazy poachers. Max here got his foot caught in a trap. They're illegal to use here. Hell, you're not
You can't
supposed to
just
hunt
go
within
and
the
meet
park at
a
all.
kidnapper.
But that doesn't stop
Those
some
situations
lowlife.
always end up in disaster. You gotta talk to the cops.
She's my wife, and it's my call. Can we talk about this later?
No, this whole thing Listen, you hit your head. I mean, geez, Al, come on. You gotta understand how crazy all this sounds.
I think this is the form you wanted.
And here are the keys. Okay, you're all set, Mr. Wake. Glad to have you staying here.
Thanks. Can you tell me how to get to Lover's Peak?
You're trying to pull a joke on me, freak me out? It's working. Ha ha, let's have a laugh on Barry. Look, Al, you're asking me to believe that you... That's just crazy talk, Al. Al. Al? We should go to the sheriff or call the FBI.
Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her! This is not a goddamn debate, Barry. I'm going to Lover's Peak. He said to come alone.
Okay then. I understand. You're my best friend, and I'm worried that you're not right in the head. Tell me what to do to help, and I'll do it.
You stay here, and if I'm not back by morning, call the cavalry.
Maluco, esse Barry fala pra caralho.
Just be careful with the natives, Al. These yokels are
Tô espirrando demais, hein? É melhor colocar sua máscara.
or it'll be deliverance all over again.
Bless you.
Oh, this place is trying to kill me. I'll bet there's mold in here, spores, poison ivy, God knows what. This is so not worth a 15% commission. I'll wait here, Al. I'll hold down the fort. I'll be with you in spirit every step of the way, Al. Walk through the door now.
Barry had never gotten along with Alice, but he knew Alan loved her with an almost frightening intensity. And now something had happened to Alice. And here was Al armed with a gun and saying things people got put in bad. I knew I should have gone to the cops. This wasn't the smartest thing I'd ever done, but I was still angry with Barry for trying to talk me out of it. These people had called me right in the sheriff's station. The cops wouldn't scare them, and they had Alice.
Welcome back to the show, folks. As promised, our very own Dr. Nelson has just parked his rear end in the studio. Doc, what's your Deerfest plan like?
My plan? You make it sound a lot more organized than I ever seem to manage.
Oh,
no plan, really. Just taking the atmosphere. I'm getting a little too wicked to do much more than that, you know.
Oh, tell me about it. No sack race for us older gentlemen, huh?
Crime and punishment. The cancer and cure of civilization. But some crimes are impossible to punish, especially in Night Springs. Tonight's episode, The Man in the Mirror.
Rose knew that Rusty was in love with her, and she liked him too. She liked him a lot. He taught her to dance, and life had certainly taught her the value of a man who was gentle. He treated her well, made her smile, made her feel good. The air in the visitor center was heavy with an awful smell, as if some rotten drowned thing had crawled up from its grave. Rusty kept coughing blood. My eyes were drawn to the twisted shape of his broken leg. The attack had been vicious. Vision left me weak. This was no head injury.
Damn. Rusty, hang on! I'm coming! Please, help me! Anybody? Help me! Help me! Can you hear me? Please help! Hello? Back here. I'm back here. Mr. Wake? Oh, hell. It happened just the way it was on that page. I found. Came true. It knew. So dark. It'll come back for me. You must... The lights. In the office. I have the key.
Okay, Rusty. Hang on. I'll be right back. Whatever did this couldn't be far.
Beleza, pegar nova arma. Peguei.
Help me understand what had happened.
Caralho, arrebentaram a perna do doutor. Quer um band-aid? Eu acho que ajuda. Caralho, arrebentaram a perna do doutor. Jogaram ele aqui no vidro, o vidro não quebrou, o vidro é blindado, certeza. Olha. Nossa, velho. Arregaçaram o doutor. É, eu acho que 2 band-aid dá pra ajudar aí. Já melhora. Ou não?
The only way to make sure that Rusty was safe was to get the power running and the lights back on. At the last instant, I changed direction and threw myself down. The axe splintered the trunk of a tree. I stumbled into the pool of bright light. My lungs burned. I was too exhausted to move. I tensed as I waited for...
Todo mundo já sabe, né? Quando o jogo começa a dar muitos itens, é porque o bagulho vai ficar sinistro, cachorro. Todo jogo é assim, começou a dar item, se preocupa.
I was too late. Someone had destroyed the circuit breaker. There was no way to get the lights back on. ground was covered with oily patches that looked like liquid darkness. Something had torn a mammoth-sized hole in the wall.
Please don't feed the animals.
Fishing! For those visitors who purchase a park license, obey!
Ranger's instructions.
At all times. Rusty, no! Never!
Closer than 100 yards.
Two bears and wolves never approached any other wildlife closer than
25 yards.
Pets must be leashed. Never leave your
pet unattended.
It is
against the law.
Historical artifacts from the park.
Gross.
Forget about it, Barry. It's just me going crazy.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. You're not crazy. I wish you were crazy, but you're not crazy. Ow, be careful.
Stay in the cabin. Don't open the door for anyone. I mean it. In that last instant of consciousness, Rusty thought about Rose. He was older than she was. Rose was barely out of her teens, but she made him feel young and forget what a train wreck his long-dead marriage had been. He still wore the ring. He'd been waiting for her to tell him to take it off. Now she...
Não alimente os animais. Ok, né? Ok. Aqui tá um corvo doido ali.
Lover's Peak was at the far end of the nature trail.
Tem coisa por aqui. Coisa boa. Tá aqui, ó. Coisa boa pra nós. Aqui mesmo. Cara, é dentro da caverna. Tinha que ser dentro da caverna. Puta que pariu. Eita. Caralho. Quero ver nem embaçar. Opa, nova arma. Valeu a pena. Espingarda. Tem bala aqui?
Agent Nightingale didn't want to be in Bright Falls. These little communities revolted him, and he didn't like the truth. He had a rider to catch.
We gotta get moving. More of them coming. That flashlight's kid stuff. The flares will keep the bastards away.
You can see them too?
Hell, of course I see them. Come on, we gotta move.
Why?
Because that's the way the story goes.
Yeah, but...
Let's move!
I lost my gun back there.
Oh, I've got a gun. Just keep that light steady on him.
It took a moment, but then I recognized him. He'd been on the ferry when I first arrived here with Alice. He knew my name. We were headed in the direction of Lover's Peak. There was no way this was a coincidence. He was the kidnapper.
Come on, Wake! You better keep up. Bring it! Monster! Just keep coming. Die already, die! Lover's Peak, right up these stairs, Wake. Use the flares from the emergency box to hold them off while I get these boards off.
Give me the gun.
Yeah, no can do, Wake.
Are you kidding? Give me the gun!
No time for back talk. Hold them off, damn it! Just a little longer. Scare them off. Get some light on those bastards. That'll keep them off us. Just a little longer. I almost got it. Okay, it's open. Move it or lose it. That's what I got for you. Nailed you. Better now, Wake. All cozy and safe. Better get ready. They'll be on us soon. This is it, Wake. A last stand. There's more flares here. Get ready. We fight them as long as they keep coming.
Give me the goddamn gun! They're coming!
That's not how this goes. Get with the program, Wake. Hear that? It's them. Ah! Filthy monster!
let's cut the act now. Where's my wife?
I knew you were gonna say that. I read it all before. You're a hell of a writer. Congratulations. You're gonna bring about something glorious and terrible once we get you some proper editorial control.
What the hell are you talking about? Where's Alice?
I want the entire manuscript, or she's gonna suffer bad.
You touch her up.
You're gonna give me the manuscript, or you'll be sorry.
No! Come back here! I swear I'll kill you if you hurt Alice! Do you hear me? Come back here! He had Alice, and he wanted the manuscript because he thought it held some magical power. But I had no manuscript. On more than one occasion, Alice had tried to explain to me how it felt to be afraid of the dark. To her, darkness wasn't simply the absence of light. To give him. I had to get back to Barry and figure out my next move. Rusty had warned me about these traps. It hurt like hell. I was stuck. Sarah didn't care about the legal threats Wake's agent had made. She let Wake go without argument, because there was something about him she couldn't quite put her finger on, flaring up without warning. The night had been one desperate situation after another. I was exhausted, and my body felt as though it had been chewed up and spat out. Pull of the trigger sent it. The logging site was a mess. The modular office had been pushed off the cliff. Deputy Thornton climbed up from the wreckage excited. When Barry saw the darkness attack the visitor center, it made him a believer. The men Al said he'd shot, they hadn't been just locals on crank. Somehow the world had changed.
Be aware of Widowmakers.
Shadows stirred and the wind picked up as I ran through the forest. I felt the dark presence turning its gaze toward me. Then the moonlight was blotted out by dark shadows that raced violently across the ground, moving too swiftly to be natural. Darkness gathered between the trees. Barry?
Ow! The porch is covered with birds. They've got all Hitchcock on me.
Stay out of sight. I'm on my way. Don't open the door.
What, am I crazy?
Stay hidden. I'll be there soon. Just make sure you keep the lights on. I still had to reach Barry at the cabin, but at least I was out of the woods. I'd have to get the car from the locked garage. It would get me back to Barry faster, and the headlights were a welcome bonus. The FBI agent's command froze me in place. I considered surrender. It was all falling apart anyway. I could give in, let someone else deal with it. But it felt all wrong. Call it instinct, his posture. I had to find the key to the garage.
A story is not a machine that does what you tell it. A story is a beast with a life of its own. You can create it, shape it, but as the story grows, it starts wanting things of its own. Change one thing and you set off a chain reaction of events that spreads through the whole thing. The characters have to be true to themselves. The events need to follow a logical process. The story dies.
The flare gun was probably the best weapon I could imagine against the dark things I was facing. It was the kidnapper.
You son of a bitch! Where's my wife?
Enough horseplay, Wake. You deliver the manuscript, and you can have your woman back. Simple as that.
I don't... Listen. I'm gonna need time to finish it. I still need to write the ending. I need a week.
It's not done?
I need a week.
2 days. The old Bright Falls coal mine is nearby. You can find it easy, city boy. The main building, there at noon. You bring the manuscript, you'll get your wife. If not, well, get me?
Yes, I get you.
Barry had talked about birds over the phone.
I am so glad you're here. A couple of them got in here before I blocked the chimney. This isn't normal. These birds are weird. sorry for thinking you were having a psychotic episode, man.
I sent Barry to the town to ask around about a man fitting the kidnapper's description. He'd go through the archives of the local paper. Perhaps he could learn something. Anything about the island and the cabin that had disappeared. The man wanted a manuscript. I had to try to write him one to get Alice back. For me, the supernatural had always been nothing but a metaphor for the human psyche, a tool to use in writing fiction. Now, it was happening for real, and I couldn't put a single word on paper.
Barry Wheeler speaking.
This is Rose.
Rose?
I found Mr. Wake's pages.
Oh, you sweet, brilliant girl.
Could you and Mr. Wake come get them? I live in the trailer park outside the town.
We'll be there in less than an hour.
Bye now.
See you soon.
Have a great day. Hope you come back soon. Welcome to the Oh Dear
Diner.
Good girl.
You talking to blank, I'm dedicated until I die. I'm on my own, all on my own. Yeah, let's go boom, bang. You talk